Hey, welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior. Um, so this came in about maybe 3 days ago. This is the Haslab Giantman from the Avengers. Um, it's gonna really do a quick round of the box because even though I'm not a box collector and I'm still not sure if I'm gonna box this, I think I will because this really just looks very beautiful. I think that needs to be framed. Um, I think they did a really, really good job on the boxing on this one. It really starts off the process of appreciating what you're getting with a premium unboxing is kind of what it feels like, right? So you have this beautiful artwork over here, which I'm glad won because this is what I really wanted. And we have these headshots of the Avengers. Um, you have the Hulk, Captain America, Black Widow, Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, and the Wasp. I I don't think Black Widow was on the team. Oh, I'm thinking of like when they discovered Captain America, Black Widow wasn't on the team. I don't think Hawkeye was. I think it was Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, the Wasp, and Giant Man. So you know what? We're now in this time of Marvel Legends collecting where all these characters we have. That's just amazing. And in this toy format too, we have all these in this particular design. And then the back of the art, the back of the box, we have a kind of like diorama that you can use for the thing. So I think what I'll probably do is I'll cut off this side and I'll cut off the front so I can frame the front. And since I'm cutting off the front, I can cut off this part and I can save it for a background diorama if I want to. At least that's what my plan is for now. So let me go ahead and take out the figure and I'll be right back. All right, so let's talk about the accessories first, or let's do the head really quick. So this is actually the smiling face. This is not the face that came in with the piece. So basically, what you want to do is just basically pull this out a little bit. The plastic is flexible, and then you just basically tip it, hold it here, and tip it out like so. Okay. Once you have that, basically just pull it out. The eye stays in there, and you just switch whatever eyes you have on hand. The eyes can only go one way. You can't put it, as you can see, like this. That's the wrong way because you see these two over here, these two pegs. Yeah, that corresponds to the two pegs down here, so it goes like so. So you really can't mess around with it too much. Let's look at the eyes really quickly. Some people were talking about they have had issues with the eyes, that they don't have the straight looking one so far. So this is the eye that's kind of straight looking but looking downwards eyes. And the reason why I'm showing you the eyes outside of the faces is because it's much easier to see how centered they are than if they were in the face themselves. This is the set of eyes that looks towards the side. Now this is the set of eyes that's also towards the side but looking up. You can kind of see that they are different eyes. Can you see it? Like this one slightly looking up, this one slightly looking to the left, but they're both looking to the left. And then you have the zombie eyes over here. Now, unfortunately, the zombie eyes is the one that's completely looking straight and level. So these are the, even though this is looking straight, this is looking downwards. So is there an eye that's looking straight onwards? I don't think there is, but it's kind of weird. I think this is something that needs to be clarified by Hasbro, because definitely you're gonna get a lot of complaints because they're thinking there's got to be a straight on shot of the eyes. There is this one, but it's slightly going downwards. There is this one going to the left, but going upwards. Even from here, I can tell this one's looking up, while this one's going left straight on this way. This is the only pair of eyes that's looking straight on at you. You can even tell straight on, right? And it's the zombie eyes. Now there are 4 faces included with this. Look at how much detail there is on this one. This is Marvel Legends. I know it's not quite Hot Toys level, but for Marvel Legends, the type of detail that they're putting in and the paint job, I feel that's a good balance. I'm really attracted more towards this smiling face. It might, if you think about it, might be creepy, but I don't think so. I think it's creepy in a way because of what happened towards the end of the relationship between Giantman and the Wasp, if you know about that. But I still feel like he is kind of like the thing of it is, in the Avengers, in the comic book line, it's actually Hank Pym that I think is more geared towards the media. Hank Pym and his wife, because they're both married to each other, so they really presented that power couple. It was never really Tony Stark that was the front page, the front face of the Avengers. That's just in the movies. Tony Stark, he may be funny, outgoing, and socially adept, but he was also drunk. I'm sorry. So, in the comics, I've always gotten the impression that it was Hank Pym and Janet Pym, or Janet Van Dyne. I don't know if she ever took his name. That was really the front of the Avengers, the power couple. And then here's the zombie face. Interestingly enough, the zombie face has the most paint application on it, which is, I guess, fitting. But look at that teeth, those rotting teeth. It's just amazing. I don't think I'll ever display him as a zombie because it really doesn't fit my display area. I don't have any zombie Marvel figures. Yeah, I really don't. Oh, actually I do, but only from the Marvel Cinematic, so it won't fit the Marvel comics. And as good as this sculpture is, I think the scroll should have won, because aside from the portrait, there's really nothing that says in the figure that he's a zombie, because his costume looks good. There's no damage to it. There's no dirt or smudges to it. The costume's too pristine. This head just stands out for me. And then you have the antennae. This is the antennae for the zombie, because as you can see, it's got damages to it, and that's the only damaged part of his costume is the antenna. You know, that's why this face, as good as it is, it stands out. Unlike the scroll face, it would have blended in perfectly well with the rest of his costume. And then you have the white antennae here, and then I have the black antennae here, which I put on just to match the 6'6" version. Now, I'm gonna be displaying him with smiling face and side eyes towards to the left, and basically you just grab the template of the head over here, insert the eyes and the face, and then you just put this in. Make sure, if you want to, try not to rub against the actual face. Put it towards the bridge of the nose over here, and then just push up, and then secure it onto the sides over here, and then you're done. Again, to take it out, just open up the sides, put your finger underneath here, and then pull off like you're peeling an orange. So let me pull out. This is the straight on looking downwards eyes, and we'll put it in with the stoic face, because the way I see it is, as you can see, it's staring down. But the thing of it is, it's a giant. So it's not like you're supposed to be seeing the giant head on. You're not a giant yourself in a comic book. So he's supposed to be looking down on you. So if you do it like that, then there's your straight on eyes. Again, just bend it out of the way. Put that piece of the mask of the bridge and just push up from the back. Again, secure it on the sides, and see, there's your straight on eyes, slightly looking down, because that's the way it's going to be. He's a giant. He's going to be looking down on you, honestly. So let's go ahead and let's look at the figure close up. So here's the figure close up. Basically, you have the texturing over here for the chest belt. You have texturing on the suit that's really stands out when you get up close, but as you get farther and farther back, it just recedes. Very nice sculpture here. The pulled tightness of the costume, very, very comic booky. You have the stitching going off to the side here. That's also there on the inside of the costume, but not on the outside. Of course, all your stitching would be on the inside of the uniform. And here's the back. And here's the gloves over here. As you can see, they also did stitching on the edges of that one. Has a sort of a leathery texture. Again, stitching on the gloves. Really, really nice work. And look at the joints on the hands. It's barely visible. I think they really did a good job on the articulation design of this hand. And there's the trunks. Again, the texturing on here, really nice subtle wrinkles going on. Again, stitching over here on the boots. And then you can see this zipper detail in the back. It's not painted, but I'm okay with that. But I mean, if you want to paint it silver and all that stuff, it's up to you. But I like it this way. It breaks, doesn't break the color scheme of the boots. Wrinkles in the back over here. It does have some subtle shading going on in the paint jobs, in the arms over here. Just very, very subtle, not too blatant in here as well, as you can see. All right, so that's it for the figure close up, and let's look at it articulation wise. So here he is standing right here. Let's mess around with the articulation. I decided to go with the black antenna to match his 6-inch version. We'll start off on the head. The head has a smooth motion. It can go up that high, down that high. Obviously left to right won't be an issue. The only thing is it doesn't really have a lot of left and right movement. That's fine. Now we'll deal with the shoulder articulation. Let's check out the butterfly first. The butterfly movement does not have a ratchet, and can go that much back. Let's see what's the best way to show that, and then forward by that much. So not a lot of movement on the butterfly, but as you can hear, the ratchets and the spokes and the ratchets are nicely tight together so you don't have these wild swings of movement per ratchet joint. You can go up that way, sideways, ratchet it forward as well. Again, the ratchet connection, the ratchet spikes are tight, and the ratchets as well, they're not so tight that you're afraid you might be breaking the spikes underneath it. The bicep, you can see there's a stitching on the inside to the bicep. It's good. It's not tight, it's not too loose, it's got a good resistance to it. The elbow connection also ratcheted on this side. How about the top side? The top side is also ratcheted, so ratcheted here and ratcheted at this point. With a combination of both, I think that's the best you can go. There's no swivel on this part. There's a swivel, there's a swivel and an in and out movement on the wrist. I'm surprised the wrist also, not the rotation, but the in and out also has a ratchet. That's pretty cool. And for the in and out, it can go inwards that much, but more out. That makes more sense because it's kind of hard to do that with your own hand anyway. It's easier that way. The hands, I'm really glad that they went with articulated hands. And the way it's designed, it's actually very nicely done. It's almost, you almost couldn't tell that they're jointed on each knuckle. I couldn't on the photos. So at least this way you kind of save plastic because it's no longer preformed. So it has a in and out movement on the thumb, and then on the base of the thumb, you see, and this one. Now this one, the tightness on this one is a little bit more tighter than actually on the joints. And I'll just show it on the top part here. You can go that much, go that much, and the inside one. I feel like there's not a lot of movement on the top one. I think there is, maybe mine is just really stiff. There it is. So on this one I'm more afraid to move the fingers because I feel like the pegs inside it might be too thin for this. So I think the most dangerous part of this figure is actually the joints in the fingers, because if you break those, you're kind of like, you know what I mean. But yeah, these are probably one of the better ones. So when you're moving these hands, just if you want, soak it in warm water. I always do warm water rather than the heat gun, because warm water will go inside the joints and it will warm it all evenly. While the heat gun, if you're not careful, you might end up burning the plastic. You could do the blow dryer trick. It won't damage the plastic as much. I feel that actually takes longer, but it's up to you. Yeah, really nice joints. Like moving these limbs over here, I'm not afraid at all of breaking anything. This part of the costume is actually on a movable area, so it's not gonna restrict the movement, but it's not like really soft rubber. It's still got a bit of resistance to it. You do have the torso cut over here, the midriff, that allows you movement up to, that's actually a pretty good range considering that this is in the way, and it's gonna constrain the movement completely. But that's a lot of movement over there. Sideways at the very least. I don't know if Okay, so again, this is what I've noticed in any other toy. The movement back is more than movement forward. So you saw the movement there, that's all from this cut, okay? And then forward is about that much, I think. But then you have this articulation here at the bottom torso that would allow you more. So the combination of both definitely gives you more than enough, I think. Okay. And he does not have a waist twist. So all the movement that you have sideways is going to come from the top and then forward from here, which I think is fine. This is not the kind of figure, because of its height, that you'll be messing around with a extreme action pose on this one, right? And as you can see, it really holds the pose really well. I really don't have any complaints on the ratchets on this one. As for the hip to leg articulation, this is stiff. This is harder than the other one. I think there's a ratchet in there, but I didn't hear it as much. But I feel comfortable up to that much. It does have a thigh cut. I feels like there's a ratchet in here, but very, very soft. There's a ratchet going out. And that's as far out as it can go. I bet you I can balance this. He wants to balance. Look at that. That's how strong. That's all that depends on the ankle joint. That's how strong it is. That's crazy. All right. And as for the knee, again, ratcheted joint that goes up here for the lower knee. More softer ratcheted joint over here that goes from the upper knee. So completely good. And as for the ankle, this is going to be hard now. That's the most you can go for upwards. And the most you can go downwards. It does have a swivel on the ankle, and of course a toe articulation that goes up to that much. And that's it for and here's another pose of Giantman just balancing on his own with one foot. So there's Giantman with his partner and wife, the Wasp, Janet Van Dyne. As you can see, I just cannot get him into frame. If I do, it just exposes a lot of my junky collection room as much as possible. But yeah, he's very, very big, but not completely much bigger. Not bigger than Galactus, and I think he's a slightly taller or shorter than the Sentinel Haslab. Um, and my thoughts on this one, the only problem I'm having right now in terms of articulation are the fingers. I don't think there's a way you can remove the hand so you can soak it. So you'd have to soak, kind of be awkward soaking the hand and just getting the gumminess of the articulation in the fingers, because this is more of the gummy plastic. And I think it's good that they're using that type of plastic, because I feel like harder plastic would break at this point. Right now, there's a lot of um, you can apply a lot of force in this gummy plastic and not break it completely. So if you're forcing it, so I would do really recommend heating it up and just loosening those joints before you mess around with them completely. Other than that, I'm really happy with this Haslab. I wish we could have gotten to the scroll head, but for the price of, I think, what, 195, we got a lot of stuff. We got the through three extra faceplates. I'm never probably gonna use the zombie head because I don't really have any zombie character figures. Um, the amount of texture on this figure, it's not too visually um, glaring because of the size. It only becomes more prominent when you close in on the figure. But it makes sense that as you get closer, you'll see the texture more, but as you go farther away, it feels like it's a smooth surface, because as it grows bigger, this texturing in the belt slash chest thing is really nicely done. This is nicely done as well. This belt thing is kind of simple, but that's the way it is designed. So it's a simple design of a costume. That's actually what intrigues me and what fascinates and what draws me into this particular character, even the boot design as well. So very simplistic design, but very true to the comic design. And I wanted this kind of representation for Giant Man. I believe for the price point, in the fact that you can pose it, articulate it without having to deal with loose joints, at least for in the beginning, is very good. I really do like the fact that they included the smiling face. I know people don't like it, but I actually prefer it. Giant Man seems like a quirky kind of character. Not from the movies, but it just seemed like he was to me. And I know there's a background between these two that wasn't that dwelt to that led to a little bit more serious stuff between a man, husband and wife. But um, in this representation of Giant Man and the Wasp and the Avengers, I this represents it for me. The smiling face, the kind of like um, media friendly character. So the character appeals to me at this stage. The toy appeals to me. It finishes off my Avenger line, the classic Avengers, and I'm very happy with the articulation and the ratchet joints, especially. It just makes it so much easier. As good as a figure is, as good as a toy is, you really want to be able to play with it, uh, not having to worry about whether it's going to break, fall apart, or whatever. And this brings it. This brings it completely. So that's it for my review of the Giant Man Haslab. A very well done character. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys again soon. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.